Yeah, for me, I'm proud of our guys. You know, it's our first year, so I don't know about the turnaround. It's our first year together as the 2023 Texans, and our guys have done a great job this year.
Head coach DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans are back in the NFL playoffs for the first time since 2019 in big board sports.
Football coverage brought to you by Davis Law Firm.
The last time we saw the Dallas Cowboys was Sunday night when they won 38-10 at the Commanders to wrap up the NFC East and the second seed in the NFC playoffs. This marks the boys' third straight trip to the postseason and the fifth time in 8 seasons since Dak Prescott took over as QB1. And he is more than ready to taste some true postseason success with this season's club.
Yeah, very ready. Obviously, coming off of the past years, understanding the team we have, knowing we're coming into the season, that we had a team that could compete, wanted to put ourselves in this position, wanted to stay in the moment each and every week and not look forward to this, but now it's upon us. And I think most importantly, we've got to take it one game at a time with the same attitude that we came into this game with, same attitude that we've taken in every home approach.
Cowboys will host the Packers Sunday at 3:30 p.m. at AT&T Stadium, and KSAT12 Sports will be there. Dallas is favored by 7.5 points. After finishing the regular season 10-7 to win the AFC South, the Houston Texans will play the Cleveland Browns on Super Wildcard Weekend. After 3 straight losing seasons under a handful of head coaches, first-year field boss DeMeco Ryans did a great job in leading his team to the second season.
Yeah, our guys understand our goals and what we set out to accomplish. As I mentioned earlier, like just as true competitors as we all are, right? And we talk about it all the time. We didn't come this far just to come this far. Yeah, everybody's excited, happy about the division. I mean, that's congrats. Now we have to move on. We have to continue to play football and go win games in the playoffs. That's what it's about.
And Houston will host Cleveland Saturday at 3:30 in the afternoon at NRG Stadium. The Browns are favored on the road by 2.5.
Could not be happier or prouder of our team, 15-0. Yeah, took on all comers. Last one standing. It's a great feeling.
That's Jim Harbaugh during postgame last night after Michigan beat Washington 34-13 to win the CFP National Championship, the Wolverines' first natty since 1997 and their 12th national championship per Michigan school records. Now this following the Wolverines sign-stealing scandal. Spurs rookie Victor Wembanyama busted out another double-double Sunday night in the Spurs' 117-115 loss at the Cavaliers. He had 24 points, 10 rebounds to go with 5 blocked shots. That's his 5th straight game of scoring 20 points or more.
I'm young, getting better every day, and I think we could say that for every month to the next one. So it's, the good thing is my margin, of progression is not, I don't even know how big it is. I can get so much better, and this is what I'm trying to do every game, but every week and every month.
Victor and the Spurs will play at the Pistons tomorrow night in Detroit, and there's a report out that the Spurs are going to play in Paris next season. Oh. We'll have more on that on the Night Beat.
That would make sense.
Yeah, certainly does.
By the way, they better beat the Pistons.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's what I'm saying, Larry.
I know.
All right, thanks. Coming up next, our KSAT Q&A with Mayor Ron Nirenberg. We'll be right back.
The promise was of a cyber boot camp, teaching people how to code in a short amount of time for those coveted jobs that are in the coding business, in computer, in technology. Codeup went under, though. It is no longer a part of the city of San Antonio's business landscape, and it was part of the city's Ready to Work program. Mayor Ron Nirenberg joins us now. Mayor, your reaction to Codeup starting the new year, announcing that they are not coming back, that they're not going to continue.
Sure. Well, I don't know all the specific details about the causes for Codeup closing doors, but I will say that obviously when you have a program like this that's training people, we want to make sure that the folks who are in that program in the middle of it have an opportunity to get to complete their training elsewhere. And so as it relates to Ready to Work, I do not believe that they were receiving any direct funding under the Ready to Work umbrella. But suffice it to say, we work with a number of different partners with regard to curriculum and training. And so I've already seen that the Alamo Colleges District, for instance, is offering that training program to fill in the rest of their program at another institution. So the good news for the Ready to Work program specifically, and again, I don't think there was any direct relationship with Codeup. The good news with all the programming related to Ready to Work is that the funding isn't expended until people actually go through the pipeline. So this isn't funding that's given up front. It's actually worked out, contracted with those programming providers for the purposes of getting people through training. So if people don't go through the training, those dollars aren't expended.
So we understand that there were 18 students within Ready to Work that were part of the Codeup program. Not a huge number, but it certainly means a lot, this closure to those 18 that are now scrambling to try to find out what comes next. The city has really made a push to try to develop those coding jobs, those tech jobs, and keep people in that field here in San Antonio. Do you feel like, from what you know about the closure, is this sort of a one-off, or is it a larger issue within that budding industry here?
Well, those who have been observing the last year of technology industry jobs, it's been a quite tumultuous year for tech jobs generally. In fact, there's major impacts in cities like Austin that have a larger share of those tech positions. But good news is that San Antonio's landscape in technology has changed quite a bit. And so there are a lot of different programming providers. Many of them continue to operate in response to the demand in technology. So, like I said, there's a push to get those folks into other training programs. I would imagine that folks who are training to be in the technology field, whether that's coding or something else, are going to have plenty of opportunities going forward. But, technology as an industry has seen these ups and downs, a little bit more volatility than some of the other industries that are a larger share of the San Antonio economy, like manufacturing and healthcare. But technology jobs are here to stay. And so technology training will also be here to stay with regard to our workforce development pipeline. Yeah, and you pointed out that the Alamo colleges are stepping up and offering their own programs for people that are already in place to help out. Also, Geekdom is offering free membership for 6 to 8 months for people that want to take advantage of the Geekdom opportunities. Yeah, and let me be clear. So the Alamo Colleges is one of our major partners with the Ready to Work program, like Project Quest and a couple of others. To the extent that there was training going on at Codeup, those would be through subcontracts. But again, those students will have opportunities elsewhere, and we'll make sure that folks who enter the pipeline are able to complete the pipeline as those funds are expended. I want to change gears now and ask you about the very sudden retirement of San Antonio Fire Chief Charles Hood. That news came last week after we learned that he apparently was part of an investigation related to comments he made demeaning towards women, vulgar in nature. Your reaction to that? This is our first opportunity to talk with you here on this segment about that turn of events. It's disappointing. We know that there have been a few prior incidents, and I support the city manager's decision, which was done swiftly and I think justifiably in concert with Chief Hood. So, again, all city employees, regardless of gender, race, and anything else, should be treated with respect. And we have a high standard for behavior in the workplace. So when those things are violated, we have to take them seriously. So I think the city manager acted appropriately, and I support him in that. Is it possible to separate what happened with the comments and the retirement and what Chief Hood has done for the San Antonio Fire Department, or is it too soon for that to be talking about legacies? Look, I think that Chief Hood's professional service to the city had tremendous impact on the city, tremendous positive impact in the city. There are incidents and there are situations that call for action when you violate the administrative protocols and the expectations of professionals at the city. Those are two facts, and they don't have to be mutually exclusive. someone can have a positive impact, but also unfortunately have to end their tenure because of violations of professional conduct standards. So those two things are true. It does not take away from the fact that we have one of the best fire departments in the country. It is disappointing. It's unfortunately not the way we would like to see a career like that end. But we're going to all take steps forward and again, try to have what we think is one of the elite fire departments in the country.
I want to also ask you about District 10 Councilman Mark White before we go. Councilman arrested just after Christmas on suspicion of DWI. Is the City Council expected to discuss whether Councilman White could face any kind of reprimand as far as the council goes for that?
Yeah, and I've read and I've seen that there's a lot of curiosity about what's different between this and prior incidents we've had. City Council is just back from its winter recess. We haven't met in several weeks. So we are meeting in a council session tomorrow, an executive session to discuss this incident. There's some facts available to us, the ones that have already been reported on. There is a toxicology report that hasn't yet come back. In fact, it takes several weeks for those to be reported. So there are things we know, there are things we don't know, but the council at the very least will convene in a closed executive session to discuss the situation and potentially any action that might be taken. Obviously, we expect public officials, elected officials to live up to the highest of standards. We have to hold ourselves to account because we are representatives of the public. And so this is behavior that I think if you ask Councilman White, should not happen and should not be condoned. And so we will have to act accordingly. But we also want to make sure that we act with all the facts that we can have available. So, I expect that conversation to begin tomorrow.
Before we let you go, on a lighter note, just want to let you know that there are rumors that the Spurs are going to be playing in Paris next year. So there'll probably be rumors that they're moving to Paris. So I just wanted to brace you for that. And also I wanted to tell you that the Nierenbeard's looking good.
Thank you. I think Paris is playing in San Antonio now for a while, I hope.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Thank you. I appreciate that. The Spurs aren't leaving San Antonio.
I knew we would not get through this
Yeah.
segment without working Nierenbeard in.
Yeah.
Count it.
It's expected.
Thanks, y'all.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mayor. We'll be right back. All right, this is a forecast to really keep your eyes on. We've got cedar, we've got some smoke out there, Sarah, and freeze.
And
all to talk about.
And
today.
an Arctic freeze, Myra, exactly. In fact, I want to show you on the camera right now, if you're smelling some smoke, it's probably because of the prescribed burn out at Camp Bullis. What I'm showing you here is that plume of smoke that's coming from Camp Bullis, and we can actually see it on the satellite image from space earlier today. There it is, that plume of smoke moving south. Now, coming up in the forecast, we're going to talk about that hard freeze by next Monday and Tuesday. Also going to talk about a cold morning tomorrow and a comfortable afternoon. And then finally, if you thought we were done with the winds, think again. Friday, gusts up to 50 miles per hour. Lots to unpack in the forecast coming up.
Okay, lots to watch in this forecast. And everybody's wondering, how cold are we really talking about here, Sarah?
Yeah, by this time next week, we will have seen temperatures in the low 20s in San Antonio. Yeah, that is cold. That's enough to make for a hard freeze, which means that you're going to need to prep for making sure your pets have a warm place to stay, your plants, you're going to want to cover those. You're also going to want to take some time from now until Monday to, if you have any exposed plumbing outside or anything like that, making sure to cover it up. So that is our first headline that we're going to talk about, that hard freeze expected by next Monday and Tuesday. Cold Canadian Arctic air going to be spilling across the nation. Cold air is really dense, so this cold air is going to move pretty fast. We're going to see that cold air in place. Temperatures are going to plummet on Monday, Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We're going to wake up and you're going to feel that cold. In fact, the walk could end up being very, very cold and windy. Hard freeze by Tuesday morning. As far as wintry precipitation goes, there is a very small chance that we could have a wintry mix on Monday, but this is something that we're going to continue to keep our eyes on and give you updates as we get closer. We're still 6 to 7 days out from this event, and we really need to be within 3 days to get a good understanding of the wintry precipitation chance. We will keep you posted every day. We're going to update this forecast, so please continue to check in with us. Make sure you have the KSAT Weather Authority app. And again, the 4 Ps: pets, plants, people, and pipes. Make sure they're all warm. Have a nice place to stay. All right, let's go ahead and talk about our next weather headline, though. A cold morning tomorrow with a comfortable afternoon. So we're talking about a hard freeze being possible on Monday and Tuesday of next week. Tomorrow morning, it's just going to be a light freeze. So brief amount of time, just barely at or below freezing early tomorrow morning. We'll wake up at 32 in San Antonio. So with the light freeze, the only thing you really need to worry about is making sure your pets have a nice warm place to stay. And if you have any very sensitive vegetation, like potted plants, you might consider bringing those inside. It's going to be the upper 20s in the Hill Country, 27 in Kerrville, 32 in Canyon Lake, 31 in Poteet, 32 in Devine, 32 in New Braunfels, just barely above freezing in Seguin. And this is going to be a gorgeous day tomorrow. We're going to be at 52 by 10, plenty of sunshine. Winds are going to switch direction tomorrow. They'll be from the southwest instead of the northwest. And we could see a few gusts up to 25 miles per hour. So a bit of a breeze, but nothing like what we've been dealing with. 68 for the high tomorrow. Then finally, I do want to talk about how it will get windy again on Friday. We'll have gusts of up to 50 miles per hour on Friday. A lot like this last event where you had to tie down any loose patio furniture or bring it inside or anything like that. Do the same on Friday, because we'll have gusts up to 45 miles per hour. Now let's spend a bit of time here on the 7-day forecast. All right, tomorrow, 68 degrees after that cool start, that chilly start near freezing. Then a nice day on Thursday. We'll get that windy front moving through on Friday. It's going to be fairly nice over the weekend, giving you time to prepare for that hard freeze. Then by Monday, on the holiday, it's going to be cold. Temperatures are going to fall into the 20s and we'll struggle to get out of the 30s. By Tuesday morning, we'll be in the low 20s and even in the teens in the Hill Country with a high of 43. So this is going to be a cold snap, yes, but it's going to be a brief period where we're below freezing, which is important to remember because I know a lot of us have a lot of anxiety from the winter storm of 2021. Even we had some snapped trees last year from some ice. This is going to be a brief period of freezing temperatures, guys.
Yeah, and if you're one of the hundreds of thousands that are going to be taking part in the march on Monday,
yes,
hope there's that many people out there. Bundle up.
Mm-hmm.
Cold and windy.
Yeah, for sure. All right, thanks, Sarah.
We'll be right back.
Tonight, San Antonio police making an arrest in a shooting at a nightclub over the summer. Jail records show that 19-year-old Jefferson Armando Hernandez Galdamez was arrested for shooting his ex-girlfriend's current boyfriend. This happened outside the Manhattan nightclub on Blanco Road. Hernandez Galdamez is charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
Tonight, San Antonio police investigating a body found in the river. According to SAPD, an employee on a river barge found the body floating sometime around 9:30 this morning. The fire department helped pull the body out of the river. We don't know at this point how the person died or ended up in the water. We're waiting on the medical examiner to release an identity and cause of death.
The San Antonio Fire Department says high winds last night contributed to a house fire. This happened on Greenbrier Street near Nacogdoches Road. According to fire investigators, a gust of wind knocked down a tree. That tree then knocked down a power line and set the house on fire. Everyone inside did make it out safely. No one was hurt. And that's your 60-second recap.
Brief light freeze in the morning tomorrow before a beautiful day. Thursday's going to be nice too. Then we'll get windy on Friday. Another windy day where gusts up to 40 to 50 miles per hour are going to be possible. At least this time we have something to reference by Friday. Saturday and Sunday it's going to be pretty nice, but then a front moves through. This is that big Arctic front that's going to make it feel like actual winter outside with hard freezes through Tuesday.
All right, thanks, Sarah. And thank you for watching.
See you on the Night Beat.